What's up, my fatsos? It's your boy Tyler Blevins. Welcome back to another Radiohead song analysis. If you've watched my 50th in Education series, you probably know a little bit about the shenanigans that go down here. But one thing I said I would make a whole video about was the school food. So today, I'm going to discuss American school lunch. And I'm not just going to talk about the food, because I don't have enough experience with the school food to make a whole video about it, but also stories and experiences of the school cafeteria. First, of course, we have to talk about the main appeal of school lunch: the food itself. Now, as stated before, I don't have much experience with school lunch. I only started eating it regularly this year because now it's free, and there's no way in hell I would pay for this food, but I know enough to talk about it for an unreasonable amount of time. Of course, school lunch has the reputation of being hot ass, if it's even hot, but even though I've been only eating it for 1 year, I will defend school lunch with my life. How my school does lunch is they have two lines. One is for basic food that they just put on trays and you take them. There are usually 5 main items there, with the worst one being the chicken sandwich. This is where school lunch gets its reputation from. The bread is somewhat dense, which could be forgiven if the chicken wasn't straight mud. The chicken has a brownish color, but when you bite into it, it's a pinkish gray. I don't know if it's supposed to be like that or they just keep undercooking it, but either way, it's not good to eat, and you really have to drown it out with the taste of vegetables or sausage. Only slightly above the chicken sandwich is the pizza, either cheese, pepperoni, or sausage. I'm putting them all in the same category because they're all equally mid. They're just frozen microwave pizzas that don't taste like much, and I just consider them calories instead of an actual meal. Now, I know I will have people in my life defend the school pizza, but let me ask you this: would you get the pizza if there was a spicy chicken sandwich? Hell no, that shit is ass. And speaking of the spicy chicken sandwich, that's the next on the list. And again, I have friends who will swear on everything they love that the spicy chicken sandwich is the best food of all time. And while I do agree that the spicy chicken is a good item, it just cannot be the best. It's the same as the chicken sandwich, except a little spicy, so it drowns out the taste of pink chicken and no other improvements. So yes, it is good, but it cannot compare to the cheeseburger. The cheeseburger actually tastes like one of those crumpled up single patty cheeseburgers from McDonald's, and while that might sound bad, remember that school food is somehow below that. So relative to school food, this is a step up. On top of that, the soy beef they use goes very well with onions. So if you don't like how it tastes, you could just put a pound of onions on it and you might taste something. Also, funny story about the burger. I knew a Hindu girl who ate the school cheeseburger believing that it was soy meat. Thankfully for us, it contains some form of real meat. But even if it was the flesh of my fellow classmates, I'd still eat that shit up. Once again, people will disagree with me, but I do not care because this is my list and I can do whatever I want. Now for the best basic item, if not the best school food item, if not the greatest piece of food ever created, the airbag of food, the Italian Dunker. The Italian Dunker, despite popular belief, does not come from Italy because it's too good to be made by them. It consists of dough, some mixture, which I hope is cheese, which is then microwaved to make one of the best pieces of food ever created. You can get marinara sauce with it, but the sauce tastes like fucking lead. I've never tasted lead, but if I do, it probably will taste like school marinara sauce. And by the time I think about dunking them in the sauce, I've already finished them. The Italian Dunkers are so good, they're the only school food item I would actually consider buying and eating outside of school. And thankfully, I think I can. You see, the school gets their food from a company called Cisco. I know this because I've seen Cisco trucks parked outside the school, and also most restaurants get their food from Cisco. But back on track, you can go on their website to find all the food that they sell, and if you dig hard enough for 4 minutes, you can find the appetizer cheese breadstick whole grain. That's my school's Italian Dunker. The only problem is that you have to make a Cisco account, and they only sell to actual businesses. And while you could make the argument that owning a YouTube channel is considered a business, the only employees I'm feeding are me. And I don't know if they'd believe me that hating on random people online is considered a business, but my fat ass will hopefully find a way to get my hands on these to review. All that food is from the first line, but the second line is where all the good food is supposed to be at, though none of them will ever top the Italian Dunker. Here the food ranges from borderline food to actual pig slop. The best food they have here are the nachos with the yellow cheese and ground beef. Sometimes the nachos are supplemented with tater tots, but it's still great. This one is good because you can't really fuck this up. They could take a shit in it and I would still eat it, and I'm pretty sure they do. As for the other food, it's really hit or miss. They have these fucking chicken nuggets and smiley face fries. The fries are actually okay, but overall very mid-meal. If the other line has anything above the pizza, I'm going for that. They have lasagna and pasta. Both taste the same, and they're alright. Same goes with the little breakfast meal thing. The grilled cheese with tomato soup is surprisingly good. I just wish it had more protein. Pulled pork is good. I like potatoes, but the baked potato looks fucking rancid. They have fried chicken, but one time I got it, it was pink. Not even pinkish gray, just pink. I will not eat that shit. Apart from that, those are really the only options I found this year. If I didn't mention something, it's probably because it's mid as shit and nobody likes it, or I really don't care about it. Now that was just talking about the food itself, but school lunch is also a time where the greatest minds in the school congregate to achieve nothing in life. So let's go over some of the greatest school lunch experiences. Before we get into that, let me first explain the lunch area situation at my school. So where people can eat lunch is split into 3 major locations. I'm gonna explain them like they're part of New Vegas because it'll make sense. The main cafeteria, where most people sat down and where you can actually get food, that's the Strip. Everyone wants to be there, because if you do, you probably have enough friends to sit at a table. Then you have the commons area, where you can buy snacks from the vending machine. This is free side. It's not as pretty, not as luxurious, because you can't get the Italian Dunker as easily, but it's good enough for civilization. And the final location being outside the cafeteria. This is the South Vegas ruins. This is where all of the tree kids would hang around, and you would often see weird-ass couples cuddling on the concrete. And yeah, you could make fun of them for being weird, but I would see them and ask myself, is this what I'm missing out on? Yeah, they're a little weird for cuddling in public, but they seem happy with each other. And that's probably what matters most. And I would have to wonder also, am I happy? Women aren't attracted to me, so I think all of that, and then go back to pouring water on my friend's french fries. You see, a classic tradition of school lunch would be making dog shit meals out of whatever you could find. Me and my friend Ball were no strangers to this, especially to our friends Hubbard and Cobbler. Those aren't their actual names, because if they were, I'd be pretty sad for them. We went to the same gym as these guys, and we were pretty good friends. So to show appreciation for our friendship, we would create food abominations and deliver it to their table. Up to that point, I had a little experience with creating concoctions. In 8th grade, this kid would come to our lunch table and help us make some weird ass food. This man would eventually DDoS the school. Now for us, it started very light with this. A lunch tray with a couple fries, bread, utensils, juice cup, and a little milk. It's not edible, most of it is actually plastic, but it's a start. Then one day at breakfast, I took a cup of Cocoa Pebbles and saved it for lunch to make this, the same Cocoa Pebbles cup with a couple fries, apple juice, and milk. See, this is actually edible. I don't know if it would taste good, but you can't eat it. And now we're trying to make some new complex flavor. Then tomato soup mixed with apple juice, and then random shit around it. Bro, look at the stuff we made, makes me want to shit myself. A parfait cup with chocolate milk, apple juice, ketchup, ranch or mayo, tater tots, and a banana peel. By the way, we gained nothing from this besides disgusting half of the lunch table. This one was a low point, just mush everywhere, but what followed next was one of our best creations, a cocktail of sorts. Dr. Pepper bottle, Cheetos, fries, tinfoil, chocolate milk, and slices of bread. And after we made it, my friend took it home and let it ferment in the sun until the next day. I don't know how it smelled, but if we left it out there for a little longer, I think we could have made a real chemical weapon. This one was kind of boring, but we made a kebab with a cheeseburger and a fork. It just looks stupid, that's it. Now, for our proudest creation, on the last day of school, we made our magnum opus, a simple soup, chocolate milk, Cheetos, fries, and to stir it up a pizza crust. And I'm looking at the photo right now. Those were the only foods I could identify. There's a chance there was applesauce, orange juice, and tinfoil in that. You can tell me you put a dead bird in there, and I would believe you. And what I love about this picture, you can see our friend Cobbler cowering in the corner. A man, broken by two apes who show each other shitty memes every day. And by that, I mean gay porn. Junior year, we didn't do that because we had nobody to harass. Same with senior year. Yeah, we mixed some apple juice with milk and like dip fries in it with bananas, but nothing compared to the concoctions we made sophomore year. One thing I remember we did, we ate lunch in our chemistry teacher's class because he trusted us not to set the lab on fire. But one day, both me and my friend had apples, and I decided it'd be a great idea to grab a yardstick and use it as a pool cue to play pool with my apple. My friend caught on to what I was doing and said we should play golf with the apple. He fucking failed, so we tried baseball. There was no way I was gonna throw an apple at him in a classroom, so we played basketball. I want you to think how that went. It fucking splat on the floor and I ate it because I don't waste food. Also in that class, we made our friend play Hotline Miami on a MacBook. That fucking thing did not run at all. His computer can run CP2077, but not Hotline Miami. We also didn't make him play the first one. No, the second game immediately. We told him because it's easier. No, it's not. And we made sure he skipped all of the cutscenes, so he did not know who anybody was or what was going on. One time sophomore year, these two dudes in the cafeteria were being pretty loud and a little handsy. Of course, being an expert in male friendships, I knew this had to mean they are very good friends, having a little fun. I thought that until I saw two teachers run towards them. Turns out they were fighting. I think it was such a shit fight that nobody knows if they were fighting or not. In my junior year, when I was the math hall fitter, I would take a dump 5 minutes before 5th period ended, and by the time I was done, the lunch bell rang and I would meet up with my friends. And most of the time, I was fighting for my life on that toilet, and I always had to make sure I tell them exactly what went down, because isn't that what real friends are for? To share your experiences with, so you have people who understand what you go through on a daily basis. Back to sophomore year, that same friend who helped me make the meals showed me a video. So I was eating something, and he was like, dude, look, and you remember the Nair Cream guy who was like, reference, this is how hairy my butthole is, and then you just see a portal straight into hell? Well, he didn't show me enough of the dude talking, so the second I look at his phone, I am staring directly into another man's asshole. I'm still fucking eating. Why am I your friend? Lunch is also where I met one of my good brown friends. You see, I met him junior year, and we would sometimes say hi to each other in the halls. Then I sat with him for a bit. We would arm wrestle for some reason. And one thing I remember him always doing was giving me the buns from his extra chicken sandwich, because he was bulking at the time and got 2 chicken sandwiches. And when I heard that, I was like, you know, man, I got you. Trying to put on some extra muscle, I understand that. But now, we've been friends for a while. If I see this man grab 1 cracker, bro, you're so fucking fat. He asked me what time lunch is. So fat, always thinking about food. I see him grab 2 lunches now. You're fat. You're so fucking fat. Because that's how friendships work. You don't know the person that much, you barely talk to them. You're alright with them, you'll talk to them a little bit and be nice. You're very good friends with that person to the point you will lie on your soul to save them. You will actually bully them to the point where people will ask if you guys are even friends. Apart from that, I can't really think of any more school lunch stories, so I'll keep this video relatively short. Thank you guys for watching. Next video will either be a schizo rant or another school story, so go away because I'm making videos.